As you may know, between now and Election Day, we are talking to all of the candidates who are running for major office in Maine. With us tonight on 207 is Ron Russell. He's the Republican candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives in Maine's 1st District. Thanks for coming in. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You knew going in that this was an uphill race, that the incumbent Democrat, Shelley Pingree, has coasted to victory in every one of her re-election campaigns. Why did you want to run against her?
She has coasted to victory because I don't think she has really been challenged. I wanted to run against her because I don't think she represents the people that elected her to represent them. Specifically, there are decisions that she has made, the policies that she has supported in Washington, D.C., I don't think are policies that would be supported by the majority of the voters in Congressional District Number 1.
What do you think is, in the minds of voters, the number one issue in the 1st District?
The economy, I believe, is the number one issue.
Well, as you know, there are real limitations on what the White House can do to affect the economy, on what Congress can do to affect the economy. Yes, they absolutely have things that can push it in one direction or the other, but what would you, if you get to Washington, what would you advocate for to try to improve the U.S. economy?
I think the catalyst that started driving our inflation higher was when we got away from energy independence. I think if we go back to energy independence, and to use former President Trump's words, drill baby drill or frack baby frack, I think that's the way, because everything in our economy depends upon energy. And when we reduce those prices, I think that's going to have a significant impact on everything else.
Prices are already down pretty low. I'm now seeing gasoline under $3 a gallon at some stations, which I haven't seen for a long, long time. So isn't that already happening? Aren't we already seeing that? And the fact is that right now the United States is producing more oil and more natural gas than it ever has in its history. So will the policy of doing more drilling really move the needle?
Yes, gas has come down significantly. It is below $3, but that's still a 50% increase from where it was 4 years ago. So 50% to fuel your car is pretty significant. And that price is experienced by everyone. Rich people don't drive their cars more than poor people do. So the impact upon the middle class and our lower class is fairly significant there. It's felt more heavily by them. It's more of their budget to spend 50% more on fuel.
Something that is certainly affecting huge numbers of people in the 1st District is the high cost of housing. What, if anything, can the federal government be doing to address that challenge?
Part of the reason for the high cost in housing is supply and demand. And we have more folks looking for houses than we have houses available, and that drives the prices up significantly.
What's the solution?
Reduce the amount of people we have looking for houses, and some of those folks looking for houses are illegal immigrants, and we need to fix that problem. But more importantly than that, from a cost perspective, I think inflation has had a significant impact on the cost of housing, because we have mitigated the high inflation rates that we have experienced by increasing the rates we charge, interest rates, when we get credit to purchase a house. So a house now is far more expensive than it was 4 years ago.
You just said that illegal immigrants and their need for housing is one of the things that's driving up the cost of housing. Do you really think that that is happening to any significant degree in Maine's 1st Congressional District?
Yes, I do. You know that we are providing housing for our immigrants in Brunswick at the expense of Maine citizens there. So how can we justify providing housing for immigrants when we're not taking care of our own citizens? That doesn't sit well with me.
Let's talk about another pocketbook issue that's really affecting a lot of families. That is the cost of child care. Again, what, if anything, can the federal government do to address that challenge?
Childcare is a significant problem there, and I agree with you. I don't know that I have any wonderful ideas about childcare. Businesses stepping up and providing childcare large businesses for their employees has been helpful and has helped bridge that particular gap. Small businesses have a hard time doing that. I think we need to reduce the costs for small health care or child care businesses so that they don't pass those large costs on to their clients. Healthcare is a significant cost for families, and for low-income families, that burden, the percentage, is even higher than it is for wealthy individuals. So we've got to really do something about that. Last night at the debate, it was discussed that it's almost approaching the highest cost for families. I think it is the highest cost for many, many families because of the high cost of child care, and that's got to get fixed.
All right, we've got to let that be the last word. Ron Russell, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
The Republican candidate for Congress in Maine's 1st District. If you'd like more information on him, his campaign, just head to the 207 section of our app or website and stay with us. Back after this quick break.